All right, and good day to everyone. This report highlights the roles, priorities, and participation of stakeholders in tourism planning for the Science City of Muñoz, Nueva Ecija, as our chosen city inside of the Nueva Ecija of Central Luzon. The findings aim to inform strategies for inclusive and effective tourism development. So, as it is stated and written in the criteria for the report, here are the discussion points. Okay, number one is for the main priorities of each stakeholders group. All right, so number one is we have the primary stakeholders. So first things is let us categorize the stakeholders. We have what we call the primary stakeholder, the secondary stakeholders, and the tertiary stakeholders. So for the primary stakeholders, local government units and national agencies prioritize policy making, sustainability, public safety, and resource allocation. Community members focus on improving livelihoods and cultural preservation, while tourists seek memorable and enjoyable experience. For the secondary stakeholders, all right, let's move on. Secondary stakeholders like educational institutions, they prioritize research and innovation, while private entrepreneur focus on profitability and service quality. NGOs advocate for sustainable practices and farmer empowerment. Next one is the tertiary stakeholders. Outlets media outlets aim to increase visibility, while financial institutions support economic growth through financial services. All right, for the second point of discussion is we have the alignment of conflict of priorities. For the alignment, shared goals include promoting sustainable tourism, enhancing local livelihoods, and preserving cultural and environmental assets. And for the conflict, development focused stakeholders such as private business may clash with environmental advocates over land use and resource management. Additionally, differing timelines and priorities between government agencies and private sectors can cause friction. For the third point of discussions, we do have structure of stakeholder participation. Stakeholder participation is primarily structured through government-led initiatives and collaborative efforts with research institutions, NGOs, and private entities. Community engagement is facilitated by barangay officials and local organizations, while the media and financial institutions provide indirect support through promotions and funding. For the fourth point of discussion of this report, we do have the gaps, the stakeholders, participation, and the recommendation, of course. Number one is the gaps that we identified. Limited representation of marginalized groups such as small-scale farmers and artisans, and insufficient mechanisms for direct community feedback. Now for the recommendations, let's moving on to that. Number one is establish inclusive planning communities with diverse stakeholders representation. Number two, recommendations by our group is conduct a regular consultation with community members to ensure their voices are being heard. As it is also written in the CLSU, mahalaga ang inyong tinig upang mas mapaunlad ang aming paglilingkod. Kalidad ng aming paglilingkod. All right, so for the last and final recommendations of our group is to provide capacity building programs to empower marginalized stakeholders. And by addressing these gaps and fostering alignments among stakeholders, the Science City of Muñoz Nueva Ecija can achieve a balanced and sustainable tourism model that benefits all involved. That would be all. Thank you. But before we finally conclude this report, I would like to... Alright, so here, again, these are the stakeholders. We have the Muñoz City Tourism Office, the Municipal Planning and Development Office, Environmental and Natural Resources Office, or ENRO, barangay officials. Then we have Department of Tourism, DOT, Department of Agriculture, DA, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DNR, and then Department of Risk Reduction and Management, CDRRMO, Philippine National Police, of course, the PNP, local farmers, artisans and cultural performers, domestic international tourists, Central Luzon State University, Philippine Rice Research Institute, or PhilRice, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or NFFTC. We do have the Philippine Carabao Center, PCC, Future Rice Farm, hotel and resort owners, agritourism farm operators, local transportation companies, Philippine Rural Reconstruction Movement, PRRM, Magsasaka at Siyentipiko para sa Pag-unlad ng Agrikultura, or Masipag, NGO, Foundation for Resource Linkage and Development, or FRLD. We do have the Nueva Ecija Federation of Dairy Cooperatives, or NEFE, DCO, NEFEDCO. Then we do have the Philippine Biocar Association, social media influencers, of course, they're all included, local and national media outlets, and local banks. So that will be all, and thank you for listening to this brief report. Thanks so much.